What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Fantasy Football Game Show brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy and here on Better Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always from now on by my co-host, Joey Wright, and in spirit, we'll be here shortly by my other co-host, John-Luke Garofalo. Joining us today for our first episode here on BSN, we have a very special guest and great friend of the show, legend in the fantasy football industry. You may know him as the senior editor over at Fantasy Football Diehards, footballdiehards.com, or a host over on SiriusXM. Bob Harris, a.k.a. at Football Diehard on Twitter, is here with us today. Bob, thanks so much for joining us, my friend.
Cannot tell you how honored I am to be the first contestant here, outside contestant on the Return of the Game show. Also, can't tell you how happy I am to remember that the lighting isn't ideal in my studio this time of day.
At 3 p.m., the sun starts fighting you.
I always just like to think Bob is like streaming with us from heaven. Like that makes me feel just real nice and fuzzy. Yeah.
Well, guys, in honor of this first show today, we had one other person who wanted to pop up here and say hello. Scott Fish, welcome in, my friend.
What's going on, guys? I'm excited to be on your first episode of this, like I was on your first episode of the morning Better Fantasy Show. I want to say that putting a game show in the middle of the day like this, it is an amazing, great idea. The type of great idea that you have to just stick with. You have to do this at all times. Like, never give up on it for many, many episodes in a row. Don't do that. Just stick with the great idea.
100%. You know what? If we had this earlier, we probably should have stuck with it the entire time. But now that we've had this idea for the first time, we run with it. Scott, you always have the sage advice for us.
Yes, the sage advice. Well, I just wanted to come on and say, have a great show. I'll be rooting for Bob. And
I'll need it.
Bob from heaven over there. But it's very cool you guys are back. I look forward to watching every day, and I'll hop off now, but I'll be enjoying the show in the background here. It's really good to have you back.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for popping in, Scott. Glad to have you here. We got some people in the chat, and check this out.
Whoa.
Up on the screen here on BSN. We got Jay here. Says it's 2.0. Yeah, we are ready. We got Better in the chat with the yo-yo. Welcome in, Tommy. We got Coop in the chat. Said the FYF Game Show is back for the first time, baby. What's up, Coop? Welcome in, my friend. Dave in here said, yay. Glad to have you in here, Dave. And Bob, Dave Fantasy. Happy to see you, Bob.
Dave's happy.
I'm very happy to be here. I can't tell you how, what an honor it is. This is like, you guys know this. We speak offline and I tell you all, and I'll tell everyone here, this is fantastic stuff for Front Yard Fantasy guys. Creative, exciting, interesting, amusing, entertaining. And with each passing week, it seems like Simon morphs into something closer to Weird Al Yankovic. Not to like date myself, but like you are like 1980s Weird Al. Way to go, man.
He's going to pull an accordion up one of these days. I just know it.
Such a compliment. You have no idea. What a handsome, charming, and smart man Weird Al Yankovic is. Joining us here, we got our other co-host, John-Luke Garofalo. What's up, JL?
I'm here. Let's go.
Welcome in to the Fantasy Football Game Show here on Better Sports Network. Joining us today is guest Bob Harris. Come on down.
So good to see you, Bob.
Keith in here with the Hola Muchachos. Fun fact.
Coop is in there wondering who the Melvins are. God, the original grunge band. Get out of here, Coop.
Grow up, Coop. This is the first weekday morning in the last since August 29th that I didn't talk to Keith on the phone while pooping. Fun fact. The first time. Keith, I miss you, my friend. I wasn't the same without you. Wendy said, Bob, you got more of a cheering section.
Wendy, what's up, Wendy?
And I didn't even see the comment from Coop with the heck are the Melvins. I swear every high school had a Melvins kid, right? Like everybody I knew, you had the kid who wore the Melvins shirt every day of high school. Like I knew the Melvins.
Buzzo got the hair going. It looked a good look for him.
100%.
I'd like to emulate that look, but I cannot.
Also,
you and me both, Bob. You and me both.
Scampers in here said, holy smokes, FYF and Bob Harris. Welcome in, Scamps. Glad to have you here. We got Dame in the chat, man. The whole squad is here for the
West Coast squad.
Said, hello. So lovely to see you, gents. And Tommy said, what up, boys? You can't escape me.
Tommy.
Glad to have you,
baby.
Man, we're not trying to escape anybody. Just glad to have everybody here. Victor in the chat said, fish pumping some iron, putting that weightlifting in the background. What is fish
Let's
pumping?
go. Fish pumping. Fish pumping. It's when you
We
gotta
gotta-
just fill up Scott Fish with iron. Just iron supplements for days.
Supplements for days. Bob in the chat, fantasy gods. We got Jerry in the chat. What's
What
up,
up,
Jerry?
Jerry?
Glad to have
What up,
you in
Jerry?
here. And our friend Dustin in here as well. What's up, Dustin?
Dustin.
One Nation joining us. Glad to have you in here. And Albert's been waking up early with us sometimes, but he's here for the 3 p.m. Welcome in, Albert. Glad to have you in here. And Scott Fish in the chat said, did I avoid JL or did JL avoid me? It's like the age-old
I feel
chicken
like
and
there's
egg
some
question.
tension here. There's some tension here, unspoken tension. What's going on, Jail?
There's something going on. I'm fully unaware of it. I must have offended Scott Fish, or I don't know, said something mean about him.
Must have been that. And Keith in here said, Bob is from Evan, JL is from the nightclub, and Joey is from an abandoned Blockbuster.
Guys, if I could find an abandoned Blockbuster, I would never leave. Like, I would just be my dream. It's coming back. I saw the website. It's active. Wait.
Blockbuster.com? Nice.
I think it's going to be merch.
Ladarius in here saying, what up, everybody? What up, Ladarius?
What up, Ladarius?
Well, Darius, see you on Wednesday, buddy. You'll be on the show.
And we got Maria in here saying, holy cow, it's busy in here. We are ready.
Maria
It is busy, and we are getting into a game of fantasy football Jeopardy today. I'm excited. Before we do that,
Calm down, Bob.
a couple reminders. If you're not already following our guest, Bob Harris, on Twitter, do it now before he beats us all at Jeopardy. You'll have even more of a reason at the end of the show. But I'm telling you, skip that step. Go and follow him right now on Twitter at Football Diehard. It's easy to remember. Football Diehard. Give him that follow. After you do that, if you're watching this show, if you're on our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button at Front Yard Fantasy. We got game shows coming every single day on our YouTube channel and on bettersports.com. Easiest way to make sure you don't miss them is hit that notification bell, and it will alert you when we go live to play some of our favorite games with our favorite people like Bob over here. The game we are playing today is Fantasy Football Jeopardy, though. It is a lot like the popular TV show Jeopardy. I'm going to pull up this board onto the screen, guys. Go ahead and pull this up, explain the rules, and then we will get started. The game is Jeopardy. I think Bob and I just got the same Amber Alert because we both live in Texas.
We did. We did.
That is what's going on right there. I heard a buzz, and I looked at my phone. I was like, yeah, Bob and I both getting the same Amber Alert. But the game is Fantasy Football Jeopardy. It's a lot like the popular TV show Jeopardy, but most of the questions are going to be about fantasy, keyword on most. Instead of going and buzzing in, we are going to be playing in turn order. So the order is going to be Bob, Joey, JL. When it's your turn, you just tell me which question, which category, which value you would like to answer. Get it right, you're going to add that money to your bank. Get it wrong, we're not subtracting anything. Only positives until that final round. Now, there is one other rule, though. If you get your question right, you get to pick the category for the person that goes after you. So, Bob, you're going to go first. You're going to have full reign of this board. Pick whatever you want. If you get it right, you're going to get to tell Joey where he goes next. Pick his category for him. They still pick the value, but you get to pick the category.
All right, are we going? What?
Oh, one more rule in here. We'll go like this until we get to Final Jeopardy, at which point everyone's going to write down a wager. As I give you a category, get that last question right, you'll add that money to your score. Get it wrong, you're going to subtract it. Whoever has the most money at the end of Final Jeopardy is our poll perception champion. You guys ready to get in there?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Are we getting out of the chat?
Yeah. No, you don't have to get out of the chat for Jeopardy.
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
Here is your categories for today. We got new team. Who dis? So this is going to be the name of a player that's on a new team this year. You just tell me what team they're on. Stat line assign. I'm going to give you the stat line for a player and a couple different options from this year. You tell me which player those stats match up with. Grab bag. Anything. Literally anything in that category. Easy as 1, 2, 3. I give you a category like PPR fantasy points in 3 players. You put them in order from greatest to least. So it's going to be putting things in order. And then the classic category, where in the world is Carson Wentz? Carson Wentz has been traveling all over the place. Yeah, and we got to tell him where he is. So there's going to be an image of Carson Wentz somewhere in the world. You just have to tell me where he is. The chat is ready for today's show. One Nation said, oops, didn't mean to put that one up there. Scott Fish in here said, wait, how did they know I have my weights here? Scott, we did not know you had your weights here. Jay said, new feature, Fish Cam. We'll get that.
We could just turn it on and it's just always following Scott Fish no matter what he's doing.
And Dave Fantasy said, "You eat lunch." Is this a play on bring your own breakfast? Is this bring your own lunch now? You here for the fantasy football game show?
Mhm.
Scott said, "Is it cool if I have a shirt made that says I spend my lunch breaks with FYF?"
Yes.
Of course.
We got Kevin in here. What's up, Kevin? Welcome in, my friend.
What up, Kevin?
And Bob, on that note, it is your turn. The board is yours. All the options are available. Where do you want to go?
Yeah, we could take another 30 seconds of rules and stuff because I'm not looking forward to the humiliation. A grab bag, 500. Let's
Grab
go.
bag 500. Let's go. Here's what we got, Bob. Which of the following regional fast food chains is made up? Is it Arctic Circle, Friendly's, Bojangles, Burger Prince, Taco Time, or Whataburger? Which one of these five is made up?
Burger Prince.
Final answer?
Burger Prince.
Burger Prince.
Burger Prince is correct. It is actually a fast food chain from the movie Shrek. Shrek 2 is where Burger Prince is from. You can catch it ever so blurry in the background while Shrek is sadly being carried around in a carriage.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I did not make that connection until way too late.
To Burger King.
I've
Burger
never
King,
seen the movie
Burger
Shrek,
Prince.
or two.
Oh, but I have
be
seen the
surprising.
sequel.
I've only seen Shrek Forever After.
But he's seen all of the Puss in Boots movies.
Damn right I have.
Every single one.
Every one of them.
Big Antonio Banderas guy.
Some people
Are we all?
Chad getting
Are we all?
Scampers getting this one right. Jerry getting this one right
Good
as
job,
well.
Jerry.
One Nation getting this one right with Burger Prince. Kevin saying gotta be the Prince, and Maria with the Prince too. Chat was all over it. There were a couple Bojangles guesses because that one does sound
Where
ridiculous.
the heck is Arctic
I would
Circle?
so like Arctic Circle was like my close,
The red herring.
very close. I thought that was it. Maybe I thought I was going to be wrong.
It looks like
Probably,
Dairy
yeah.
Queen, but different.
Yeah, it's like an ice cream. It makes sense that it would be like an ice cream place.
yeah,
Arctic Circle.
with like some random fast food thrown in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of penguins in there.
Yeah, it's exclusively staffed by penguins.
I don't think they cook penguins yet, JL.
It's actually kind of
I
cool.
don't think they're allowed to do that.
Eat
I think
penguins?
I've told
I
this
don't think
story.
so.
You could
Depends
you could
the state.
surely eat a penguin. Like, can you? Sure. Should you? I'm not sure.
Not sure either.
I know I've told this story before, but I was talking to my dad one time when he was visiting San Antonio. My dad's a funny guy. He's got funny movie tastes, and he was on a Jim Carrey kick. And he said, I've been watching a lot of Jim Carrey movies recently. He goes, that guy is in some effed up movies. And I'm thinking like, Joey, what's the movie?
Number
I'm thinking
23.
of? Eternal
Sunshine, of the
Sunshine on the
Spotless
Spotless.
Exactly. That's what I'm
totally
thinking.
messed up.
But like I'm thinking like it's gonna be one of his more serious ones. Like I don't know. My dad goes, I watched a movie the other day where he lived with like 6 penguins. And that's how my dad described Mr. Popper's Penguins, as an effed up movie where Jim Carrey lives.
This guy's some sort of freak.
Just cracked me up. Well, Bob, you got that one right. That is $500 in an early lead for you. What category do you want to send Joey to?
Easy as 1, 2, 3.
Easy as 1, 2, 3. Joey,
300,
what
Because you
number
don't
would
think
you
you can
like?
get any of the other ones.
300, please.
300 and easy as 1, 2, 3. Rank these players from greatest to least in the following category: PPR fantasy points: Evan Ingram, Taysom Hill, Noah Fant.
I'm gonna go in that order.
In that order. Final answer.
Wait. Greatest to least, yes.
Okay. Oh, you are absolutely correct. It is Evan Ingram, then Taysom Hill, then Noah Fant.
Thank you.
Taysom Hill surprised me a little bit with just how many fantasy
That's some
points
big
he
touchdown
had.
games.
He did have
Yeah.
some big touchdown games. Bob, before we move on to the next question, is there any reason to draft Taysom Hill and redraft next year as a tight end? It's always a game, it feels like. Is Taysom Hill going to do anything this year?
Right. He's a best ball play, right? I mean, a guy that you get for that week that he goes off, and you wonder, with Derek Carr in there, will they use the similar packages that we've seen in the past for Hill? I'm guessing maybe they will, but he's a best ball play to me only.
Yeah. Joe, you agree?
Absolutely.
Joe, you're the Taysom Hill #1 fan here on the show, I believe.
I love him. Yeah, and that's only because Sean Payton will not accept our invites to come on the show.
Hate that.
I know. It's what a jerk. But yeah, Taysom Hill, absolutely useless in fantasy. Would completely avoid him if you can.
The reason he's absolutely useless is because he's useful sometimes. Like that's what
Yeah,
makes him
makes him
absolutely
more
useless
useless.
is because sometimes he can have a 3 touchdown game. So you're just going to ruin your rosters week after week trying to find it. I'm not playing that game. Dave in here with the correct answer. Ingram Hill fan. Nice job, Dave. And also Scott commented on the Penguins, saying Penguins will be the last protein to go before we move to exclusively crickets.
Really?
So
That's the second to last one in the food chain. I didn't know that.
worms, penguins.
Would have thought it was like ostriches or something.
There's some good meat on an ostrich, probably.
Mm.
Imagine
you?
I saw an ostrich down in Texas. You guys have been to Salt Lake, right?
Yeah.
I've never been to Salt Lake.
They just randomly got ostriches in the parking lot sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Terrifying. They're huge.
I'm not a fan of the giant birds. Joey, you got that one right. Gonna add $300 to your round bank, and you get to pick your friend JL's next category.
JL is my friend. I'm gonna send him to new team who dis.
You guys are so good. 500, 300, new phone, who dis. What's this category again?
New
Simon?
team who dis. I'm gonna give you a player who's on a new team. You just got to tell me what team they're on.
What team they're current? Their new team. New team who dis. Okay. Let's go with 400.
400 and new team who dis. Samaje Perine.
Jaguars.
Final answer?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It is the Denver Broncos. Samaje Perine is out there in
Who the
Denver.
heck signed on the Jaguars?
Dearness Johnson.
Yeah.
Dearness Johnson.
I feel like someone signed it out.
Michael Hasty re-signed and Dearness Johnson signed.
Oh man,
there are some Dearness Johnson truthers out there, though. They were alive and well. Our friend Doton over at Prize Picks, Joe. I know he's a Dearness Johnson truther. But
I didn't know.
I did want to ask you guys about Samaje Perine in this offense. He had good games last year in the absence of Joe Mixon, and now there's news that Javonte Williams likely won't be ready for the start of the season. So, Bob, I'll throw this to you first. Is there a world where Samaje Perine has RB1 value to start the year?
To start the year, yes. So we'll see what happens with Javonte Williams. I don't think we have enough information to really, make us. But I do think it's leading that way, that he's not going to be ready. It was a complicated injury, way more than just an ACL. And we'll see some of the actions they take in the draft, maybe more informative for this as well. But the things they've been doing in free agency, like with fullbacks and offensive tackles, McClinchy, great run blocker they're bringing in. It looks like part of the plan to fix Russell Wilson is to make him do the little bitty passes called handoffs a lot. Yeah. So Samaje Perine might be really good early in the season.
They just frame it to him. So he's just talking about micro passes in his press conference.
Let's ride.
He's like, yeah, we're taking a micro pass strategy. Russ, that's not a thing.
Micro passes. Yeah, and they just give him buzzwords. That's all you have to do to convince Russ of something is give him a good buzzword to say in a sentence. And he's like, I'm in. Let's do it. Yeah. Joey, I saw you nodding along when Bob was talking.
Man, I was dying for you to come to me. No, I love Perine on the Broncos. He's had 7 games where he's had over 10 touches. And in those games, he's averaged 18.4 PPR fantasy points. Samaje Perine's definitely a player I'm drafting to start my season off. And it could be even a timeshare as the season goes on. I don't know if he could win the job, but I'm really excited for Perine this year. I guess I just love Florida Gator running backs. I don't know.
Showing off, Joey. Not only do you know his team, but you know random stats about him.
I just finished the show where they was asked about Perine, so usually I just talk about animals.
So we got Dave in here coming in about the New Orleans talk. Said with Carr and Hill, the Saints are the only team in the NFL with 2 quarterbacks who have beaten Boise State. Now that's an ESPN level trivia fact. That is one that shows up in the middle of the game.
I think it's debatable. I don't know if Taysom Hill's actually a quarterback. Where's he at on the roster right now? Well, let's go check Yahoo. No, it's ESPN. Let's check.
Also, Scott coming in. Go ahead, Joey.
I just saw Dave Fantasy shout out Eric Rhett. That was my first NFL jersey. Was Eric Rhett.
That's sad.
Yeah, I know. Didn't think it was going to be sad when I bought it, but it turned out to be.
Scott said ostriches are 4th to last. So JL, ostriches are, it goes worm, ostrich, worm, what's third? Penguin, worm.
When did worm come into the equation?
Worm, just worm. We all know worm is 3rd.
Yeah, of course.
The chat was all over this one. Broncos, Denver Broncos. But JL, you were not alone. Jerry thought it was Jacksonville as well.
Jerry,
so
my man, let's go.
Jerry.
You know what I bet it was? I bet there was one fake Schefter tweet that had him there, and you guys both saw the same fake Schefter tweet.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have immediately answered with how little my confidence was.
All right, well, Joey, that was not your question. It was JL's, and he got it wrong, which means, Bob, we are back to you, and you've got free reign of the board wherever you want to go.
I feel
Where
like
do you wanna
I'm going to go to that same category. New team, who dis 500, please.
New team, who dis? Before we do that, we got Andrea in here saying hi,
Hey,
everyone. What's up,
Andrea.
Andrea?
What
Andrea,
up,
what's
Andrea? Welcome in.
Did
Glad
a
to have
monstrous
you.
mock
See ya.
draft on my live stream on Saturday. She crushed it. She owned
really?
the
For real?
entire world. Yes, it was like not even close. Everyone's in there going, "What the hell are we doing here?"
I love whenever that happens, but there's always a little bit of sadness that it's not a real league when you just crush a mock draft.
But that feeling is real. Like 5 rounds in, you look and you're like, dear God, how did we let that happen? Like you just look at one team and you're like, what? Like it's over. Like, why are we even playing this?
That was Andrea's team.
Well, Andrea,
Love it.
shout outs from Bob on your team being great are pretty good shout outs. And Bob, here is your $500 question. Jamison Crowder.
Where's Jay? It's the Giants.
New York Giants is correct. That's going to add another
Nice.
500 to your score.
Where they now have Darren Waller, Isaiah Hodgins, and 800 the slot man.
Yeah, what's going to happen there with that receiving core, Bob? Is there any fantasy value to be had?
Yeah, Darren Waller's
Right to
wide
the
receiver
death.
1, man. Go get him.
Just Darren Waller. Joey, are you viewing this New York receiving group the same as Bob here?
I mean, pretty much. I mean, it's a ragtag group of guys, and then Darren Waller. So, I mean, I do like Crowder, but I like him 3 years ago, not necessarily right now.
So I'm like
Craig.
I'm a big Hodgins guy. I mean, I was all about him, as he came down the stretch, and I like the connection, to the Buffalo guys who came down and drug him along, Dable and Joe Shane. But I'm not, I don't know if that's like going to be persistent or not. I'd like to think it is, but to me, Waller is the guy.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. And I was nervous when I first saw Waller traded to the Giants. I was negative. I'm a big Waller guy, but I think you're right. The more I look at the situation, he's clearly the number one option in that offense to me. We got some answers in the chat right down here. Scott, Jerry, and our friend Dustin all get this one right. Nice job. Nice job on that one. Well, Bob, Tim pointed out in the chat, you're going for that perfect game of Jeopardy. And with that means you get to pick Joey's next category again. Where do you want to send our friend Joey?
I mean, he comes up with these random stats on the likes of Samaje Perine. Let's see the stat line aside. I'm going to send it right to your wheelhouse there, Joey.
300. I know one player's stats. It's Samaje Perine. That's it. I know no other players.
Joey, if you're lucky, maybe this is Samaje Perine.
I don't think
here's your question.
I know
17 games played, 587 passing attempts, 65.1% completion percentage, 4,438 passing yards, 29 passing touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 73 rushing yards, and 0 rushing touchdowns. Joey, is this Geno Smith, Tom Brady, or Jared Goff?
I believe this is Geno Smith.
Final answer?
Final answer.
I am sorry. This is Jared Goff. The rushing yards were the key to unlocking that one there. Tom Brady had negative. Geno Smith had closer to 300, I believe. And so
I ruled Brady out immediately because the passing yards were too low.
And passing yards, and I was shocked to see he had negative.
And Geno's percentage, completion percentage was higher as well. So,
see, boy, just that Samaje Perine stat just looks real hollow now, don't it?
Well,
it's all right.
Before we move off of this, I feel like you've been hyping up Jared Goff as a later round quarterback for next year. We'll see how later round. You're all in on Jared Goff going into next season, right?
Even though I don't know his stats, I absolutely am in on Jared Goff next year. Listen, he's going as the QB 15 right now, and that's just way too late. I'm someone, if you've been watching the last couple of years, I like to wait on quarterback. That's Jared Goff this year for me. I'm going to get a lot of Jared Goff. I love this Lions offense. Let's go.
I think him and Smith are both guys that are going like into kind of a similar range, late, easy quarterback twos that have obvious quarterback one upside. I like both those guys. I don't like Tom Brady so much. I think he might not play.
We'll see. I'm still taking a late shot on him in basketball.
The hunch.
I like his beach videos though that he posts.
He loves cats. That's all that matters.
Bob's like, all good in my eyes. We got a bunch of people in the chat getting this one right. Albert, Ladarius, Scott, Jerry, and Dave. Nice job. And look who we got in the chat. Our friend Sully in here said everything is right with my world again.
Oh, Sully, let's go.
I missed you, Sully. Glad to have you in here, my friend. Oh my God. That's exciting.
Feels right.
Feels right, doesn't it? Also, shout out Andrea getting that one as well.
Nice.
And the chat loves the horn, JL. Maria said, where did the horn come from? And Ladarius said, we need more horn.
Hey, one of us makes a fool of themselves. Horn's coming out.
Are we sure Maria's not just off camera with a horn, just blowing it whenever JL like points to her?
Also,
She would abuse that. There's not a chance in hell that wouldn't just disrupt the entire show.
Dave in here said, does Brady have a 73 rushing yard season? And Keith coming in the chat with the fact for us said Brady had one season with 100 rushing yards, 110.
Dang.
That's absurd that he's only had one.
Well, they were all 1 yard touchdown runs.
Every single one of them. Yeah, and that's easy. He had 110 rushing
Slow
touchdowns.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Joey, you got that one right. I need to give you your money for that.
I did not get it.
You
right.
did not
You
get
did not
that
get
one
that
right.
right.
I need to
I got
take
it
your
wrong.
money away for that, which means, JL, you got free reign of this board.
What?
Where do you want to go?
All right. Let's go with where in the world is Carson Wentz for 400?
Where in the world is Carson Wentz for 400? JL, where in the world is Carson Wentz?
That Carson Wentz right there is at he's in Mexico City Stadium.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Almost got tricked by the Chargers logos.
I was
Dale,
like,
but it
that
is-
looks way too old to be
It is
SoFi.
Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, where they play the Mexico City games. This picture from 2019 game where the Chargers were playing there. Nice job,
That's a
Joe.
tricky picture.
Very
You
well
got the
done.
Corona in the
Yeah.
background, the Chargers
left-
in the end zone.
I
And
left
Carson Wentz is there.
right by Carson Wentz. If you look up here, you can see MEX, the beginning of Mexico. I left a little bit of a hint right there, and I tried to put
That's
it
an
in
NFL men.
NFL men. Is
2019 NFL men.
chat was getting this one. Scampers with Mexico City and Ladarius with Mexico City as well. Nice job. There was a Wembley guess, a Coliseum guess, all good guesses.
You ever been to Mexico City, Bob?
Mexico City itself, no, I have not. I've been many places in Mexico. That is not one of them.
That is not one of them. Would you go down to watch a game?
Sure, I would. Mauricio would have me. Mauricio Gutierrez would.
Oh, it was
Certainly
so fun to
host me.
hang with Mauricio.
That's a bucket list thing for me. I love Mexico City and I love the NFL, and to be able to see an NFL game in one of my favorite cities would be absolutely so cool.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Go see the 2019 men.
Well, it's happening. We're gonna go see the 2019 men in Mexico City this year. Book it. JL, nice job
Book
on
it.
that one. You get to pick Bob's next category. Where are you sending Bob?
Bob's too smart. Too smart. He's got too much football stuff in his head. Let's send him to grab bag.
Grab bag for Bob. Bob, which value would you like here?
400.
400 in grab bag. What is the recommended demonym used by the United States Government Publishing Office to describe residents of the state of Connecticut? Is it a Connecticutian, a Connecticutter, a Connecticutite, or a Connecticut resident?
That would be the Connecticut resident.
Final answer?
Connecticut resident.
I am sorry. It is the Connecticutter, much like
Does
the
anyone actually
Michigan.
live there?
Connecticuter.
I just wanted I want some clarification here. Get on the Google. Do people actually live in Connecticut, or do they just work there and go there from somewhere else?
I've been there once, and I will say it all looks staged.
Damn it.
It did look staged. Like there were people there, but I don't believe that they lived there, Bob. I think they were putting on an act to convince me Connecticut was real.
Thought it was just New Jersey pretending to be a real state.
Exactly.
Connecticution.
Connecticut.
I keep thinking Kid
Connecticutical.
Cuddy. I
I don't
can't
know
say
what
it.
that is.
Kid Cuddy, but Kid Connecticut.
Kid Connecticut.
Yeah.
That is very difficult to say. Kid Connecticut.
In my head, I'm like, I'm gonna make a great joke, and then I couldn't say it. So yeah.
Also, Scamper said Connect 40 in.
Yeah, I
Yes.
like that better.
Ooh.
That was
I'm
good.
adopting that for myself.
And Scott said, I was today years old when I saw the word demonym for the first time.
I almost asked you to use it in a sentence.
You mean like, what is the recommended demonym used by the United States Government Publishing Office to describe residents of the state of Connecticut? Would that have worked?
Yeah, but a different one.
Oh, yeah, I would have been out of luck there. I got one sentence and one sentence only. Bob, unfortunately, that was incorrect. The
That, like, ruins
Connecticutters
my
messed you
perfect
up.
game on a. All right. gonna be hell to
Just accept the defeat.
There's gonna be
All
hell
right.
to pay here.
Also-
Also, imagine you guys like a tornado of teeth and fingernails. Now, look out.
Good luck finding me.
We've got Connectillion. That's a good one as well. The
Ooh.
Connectillions.
That's a Batman villain.
And also,
That's Sammy Watkins.
before we get into our next question, Chill in here said, as a resident of Connecticut, rate my trade, guys. I saw
Let's
his
go.
trade up in here earlier. Let's talk about your trade a little bit.
Only if you're trading states.
So Dynasty, one quarterback, receive the 103 and the 204 this year, trade the 107, the 2025 second, Tyler Algier, and a 2025 fourth round pick. What do we think about this
103 and a 204 this year. So trading down for the 107, and then you're trading the 204 down for the 2020 second, but then you're getting Algier and a 2025 fourth.
No, it's the other. So they're
Go
trading
other way around. Giving up.
Yeah, they're
so
trading
they're
away
up
the
103 and 204, and they gave up the 107, the 2025 second, and Tyler Algier and the 2025 fourth.
They're trading back for like more future picks and Tyler Algier.
No,
Do it the other way around.
I think I would just stick.
They have.
I think I would just stick with the side A of this one.
So make the trade, get those picks for the other option.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm taking those picks. 2025 is so far away. A second and a fourth in 2025. Give me the 103.
Who knows if we'll even be alive then?
Bob, what are you doing here?
I'm most certainly going to be alive then, and you can save this tape and play it at my funeral in 2026. No,
Depends how this game goes.
I would probably stick. I would take the 103 and the 204 this year because I don't know again what's going on there. But as a general rule, I'd rather be the person getting the more pieces. But in this case, like it's not a great draft, so I want that 103. I've been making some trades, and I think once I get past the 106, I'm kind of worried about what I'm getting or starting to question what I'm getting. But that's in a super flex, so maybe it's a little better the 107 than I think here, but I'm probably going with the 103 and 204.
Yeah, Scott in here, Joe with a helpful tip says receive means receive, but we can go over that again after if you'd like to.
Sounds great. I have no idea what we're talking about.
The trade.
But duly noted.
Also, Chill said, appreciate the input, guys. No problem, Chill. Glad to help out.
Let us know when you move out of Connecticut.
Yes.
When you're no longer a Connectillian. Whose turn? Bob got that one incorrect, which means it was Joey's turn. And Bob, I'm sorry, but Joey now has free reign of the board. He gets to choose whatever he wants.
I'm going to go grab bag for 300 and hope is there what I think is there.
Well, here we go, Joey. What is the removed name of the band for the following album cover?
How does it get any easier than this?
I know, it's Fleetwood Mac.
Final answer?
Yeah.
I just brain
farted, not on Fleetwood Mac, but on the name of the album, and it's right there, Rumors.
It's living there right in front of you.
It's one of the
nice
best
job,
albums,
Joey.
by the way. You never
I agree.
It's a really great album.
I think as far as albums that you can put on that the most number of people will be very happy that it's on, this is number one. Like, it may not be the best album of all time, but I think it's probably like the most agreeable. It's got mass appeal. Everyone loves Fleetwood Mac. Rumors.
Yeah.
I like slow dancing with my wife to Songbird.
It's a good one. Well, Joey, that's going to get you 300 points. It wasn't the movie question, but you got it anyways. And,
how'd you know I was looking for a movie question? I was looking for a Fleetwood Mac question.
The chat was all over this one. Fleetwood Mac from Ladarius, Dave, Maria, Keith in here with it, Dustin, Sully as well. And Sully agreeing with us. That might be one of the best albums of all time. And Dustin saying Fleetwood overrated Mac.
Not go back to the Peter Green Fleetwood Mac before everyone else was in.
That's the real Fleetwood Mac?
I don't know. I'm just
Also, Maria said, please use receive in a sentence.
Receive your demonym.
Please.
From behind.
Okay. JL. This is, come on.
No, you don't want to receive it from the front.
You're right.
I mean,
well, Joey, on that note.
We all saw Stranger Things. I'm not getting in the ear of demonym.
The demonym. Joey, you got that one right. Where do you want to send JL for his next category?
I want to send JL to where in the world is Carson Wentz?
Yes, thank you, Papa. Let's go 500. Let's go.
500.
I like it when you call me.
Where in the world is Carson Wentz?
Bill Belichick's kitchen.
Final answer?
Or war room, I guess. Yeah.
It is Bill Belichick's kitchen. I would have also accepted Bill Belichick's home as the larger
Thank you for elaborating. Yeah. It wasn't someone else's home. We will accept Bill Belichick's kitchen or Roger Goodell's living room.
Also,
why can't Carson Wentz just sit in a chair like a normal human being? Why does he got to be up on the side, acting all weird?
Because he's not allowed in there. He's not allowed in the kitchen. They always shoo him out. That only the dog's allowed in the kitchen, so he's just poking his head in.
Dog's like, you know he's gonna be mad when he comes back. Better get out of here, Carson.
Sully in here getting that one right. Same with Dave and
job,
with
guys.
Dustin as well.
How'd you know that, Dave?
Nice job. Also, Sully wanted to know, or Mr. Scampers wanted us to name that dog. Does
I
anyone
know the
remember his
dog's name. I do. What the hell is it?
Jasper.
It's football related.
Shaban.
As soon as when I looked this up, I read
Nike.
the name.
No, it's
Pylon.
I think he does sound right. LimeWire.
Napster.
Dame said Nike, which makes me think that it's probably Nike.
Nike. It's Nike. It is 100% Nike. Just looked it up over there. And Adam
Do I
coming
get
in.
bonus
confirming it
points
for
for
us.
that in my next question?
You get 100 moral points for that, Bob. We keep
I
a separate
appreciate
moral
the
scoreboard.
points. Yes, that's very good.
The chat, you get
How often do you think he just turns to his dog and says, "Just do it"?
Yeah, all the time.
It feels like
And then
Bill
chuckles
Belichick's
all
the
the
type of
time.
guy that's gonna ride that joke into the ground.
how could you not if your dog's name was Nike? Well, Joe, you got that one right, which means that you get to pick Bob's next category. And a reminder from Maria in the chat, Dame is always right.
Always right.
Dame is always right.
It's true.
Also, I don't know who Bob's
All
calling a
right.
cheater in here. Me? For looking it up? I'm not playing.
We're all cheaters.
Where are you sending Bob?
All right, let's send Bob to stat line assign.
Okay, Bob, what do you want here?
500.
500, 14 games played, 80 targets, 58 receptions, 628 receiving yards, and 4 receiving touchdowns. Is this Pat Fryermuth, David Njoku, Rondale Moore, or Randall Cobb?
Pat Fryermuth.
Final answer?
Pat Fryermuth.
I am sorry. This was David
I thought he
Njoku.
played fewer games than that.
14 games for David Njoku. I was surprised by that as well. Pat played, I think, 1 or 2 more games and had more receiving touchdowns during that time frame. But Njoku put together a decent stretch of games, but clearly by looking at this, not a fully elite season. Bob,
Yeah,
with the changes going on there, Elijah Moore getting added, Sean Watson with a full off season, are you excited for David Njoku?
No, not really. Especially not now that he's abandoned me. No. I find so like in the last. I'm in way too many best ball drafts right now, and I all of a sudden find myself taking lots of shares of him because he's like that guy. Like he's the tweener, like the group of guys you want versus the group of guys you want nothing to do with.
Yeah.
And he's right there in the middle, and so I keep grabbing him. But no, I'm not optimistic. I do think they're going to throw the ball more. I think Elijah Moore is going to be a big part of this. I talked to Scott Petrak from the Illyria Times Chronicle.
Hey, that's my uncle.
Is it?
No lie, that is, or my mom's cousin's husband. So it's
Fair enough. He's a good dude.
Yeah, I love
Have him on the show a lot, and he thinks Moore is going to be a big piece of this, and kind of was downplaying the fantasy angle for Njoku and Donovan Peoples-Jones, who I have way too many shares of now. I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. My excitement for David Njoku has tapered off a little bit, especially with the signing of Elijah Moore. I know some people are out on Moore. I'm a little bit more in on Moore than most, I think, as their second receiving option there in Cleveland. And I do think he will be the second receiving option over Njoku. Joey, how are you feeling about Njoku? Temperature check.
Yeah, so when best ball drafts were going on before the trade happened with Elijah Moore, like I feel bad for anyone that took David Njoku as like the tight end 4 or 5, because that's around where he was going. He's starting to settle down a little bit more to where I'm almost at a point where I'm comfortable taking him again. But still, like I'm not expecting even that stat line next season.
That's where I'm at. He's like kind of that like 10 range now, and just like again, just outside. When all the guys you really want are gone, he's like the next one. You're kind of going, oh, I better before I end up with Cole Kmet.
I was just about to say I would prefer him over Kmet at this point.
Right.
Yeah. The opportunity is the difference there, where I feel like there are not that many tight ends who have as clear of a path, even though it's going to take him a few steps to kind of really carve out that relevance that he had last year. Most other tight ends don't even have that clear of a path. So
yeah,
he gets at least somewhat of a boost.
We got J-Rawl in here. What's up, J-Rawl? Said, we back? We back, baby.
I feel like I should do like a TikTok dance because J-Wall's here.
Yeah, Joey.
Was that a TikTok dance? I don't know.
Yes, that was the new TikTok dance. You nailed it.
Is that the gritty?
Well, Joey,
did I just gritty?
You grittied, and it is your turn to gritty all over this Jeopardy board. Which
watch out now. All right, guys, I got to catch up. I'm gonna do new team who dis for 300.
New team, who dis for 300? Hayden Hurst.
Oh God.
These are the easiest ones.
No, it's not because I just brain farted.
My brain has forgotten.
Oh, I forgot. I knew the hard one. Samaje P. Ryan. Carolina.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Well, you are right,
Oh!
Joey. Picking a team out of nowhere. It is the Panthers, and you said it before anybody came in the chat with it. So
you know I didn't cheat.
You did not cheat getting this one right. Nice job, Joey.
I think in my head I was like, oh, he went in division, and I knew he didn't go to the Bucks, and I didn't go to the Saints. So, all right. Sorry,
nice
Bob.
job, Joey. Bob, any hope for Hayden
butt.
Hurst there in Carolina, or is this a
Minimal.
tight end?
Hayden Hurst has defined himself. He's a very good player. He's capable, and we'll see what the opportunities look like. Sometimes we like to believe that, the tight end is a young quarterback's best friend. I have it on good authority. The Panthers will be taking a young quarterback in this year's draft. Huh. We'll see if he plays. Otherwise, it's the Andy Dalton treatment, and I don't know if that'll work out well for anybody.
Joe, you got any more hope for Hayden Hurst? We've had spurts of relevancy when he was in Cincinnati.
If he couldn't make it happen in Baltimore, of all places,
I said wrong.
I don't know that he's going to make it happen here in Carolina, but I think he's good enough to potentially have some burst value here if he has a good string of games.
Yeah, we'll see. The chat was all over this one with Carolina Panthers. Nice job to everyone in the chat getting that
Chat's
one.
On top of it.
Joey, you get to pick JL's next category. Where do you want to send him?
I've got to do a little gamesmanship here because we're tied. So I'm going to send him to where in the world is Carson Wentz?
My favorite category, 300.
300. Joe, where in the world is Carson Wentz?
Red Rocks.
Final answer?
Yeah.
That is Red Rocks Park and Amphitheater, specifically the amphitheater.
Or the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest cinnamon roll.
Or the Guinness Book of World Records. Is that what Red Rocks is?
Can't say. I've never been.
In Morrison, Colorado.
Well, Joe, that's going to add 300 to your bank, and you know where Carson Wentz is, which means you get to pick Bob's next category.
Before I do, Bob, you're a big music guy. You ever seen a concert at Red Rocks?
I have not. We were having a discussion before the show, before you got here, and I have not seen a show there, although I've watched many shows that were recorded there, and they're all fantastic. I saw a clip floating through my Facebook, my Twitter, that Robert Plant was there, and bugs kept flying in his mouth while he was singing.
This is not even for a concert. He was just there singing
I believe it was a concert.
with the bugs.
And the bugs were interfering.
I can imagine Robert Plant just standing in Red Rocks Amphitheater in the crowd, just singing at the top of his lungs.
They were not crickets or penguins. They were other bugs.
Or ostriches. All right, let's send Bob to stat line assign.
I'll do that for 500.
And it's gone, so you won't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at easiest 1, 2, 3. What
a demonym.
I'll go 400.
Here is your question. So this player had 13 games played, 144 rushing attempts, 695 rushing yards at 4.8 yards per attempt, 8 rushing touchdowns, 21 receptions, 122 receiving yards, and 0 receiving touchdowns. Is this Samaje P. Ryan, Cordero Patterson, or Rashad White?
It's all these P. Ryan questions.
Is this what did
P. Ryan on the
brain? What did Joey say about P. Ryan? Which one is this, Joey? Can you help me with him?
He waits for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I can't help you.
Starting running back.
I'm gonna go with Cordero Patterson.
Final answer?
Yeah.
And you would be absolutely correct. This is Cordero Patterson, a surprisingly low amount of receiving yards from a player that we kind of view as a receiving back. But Bob, that didn't trick you. You saw right through it and got that one correct. Nice job. Going to add another 400 to your round bank. And this chat, it was a little bit split between Rashad White and Cordero Patterson. But shout out to Albert, Richard, and Dave for getting that one right. Nice job, my friends. That one was a little bit tricky.
Nice.
Bob, where do you want to send Joey for his next category?
Easy as 1, 2, 3.
Okay, Joey.
Also, Daquan said it's not White. Which technically is correct.
That is technically correct. Can I do that?
That is the right answer. You are 100% correct.
That's points.
Points. Half points. We'll call it 200.
There you go.
Joey, which value would you like?
400, please.
400. Rank these players from greatest to least in the following category. PPR fantasy points with 4 point per passing touchdown. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Jacobs, AJ Brown.
So it's PPR. Man, Josh Jacobs had a really good season. I'm gonna go Jacobs, Rodgers, Brown.
Final answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here we go. You were so close, Joey, but it is Jacobs, Brown, Rodgers. The trick there being the quarterback at the end.
Yeah.
But nice job. Scampers in the chat getting this one.
Good job,
with
Scampers.
Josh, Arthur, Aaron. And I'm just assuming that A stands for Arthur and AJ Brown.
Ah, yes.
Also, Dave getting this one right with Jacobs, AJ, Rodgers. Nice job on that one. Nice job, guys.
Great law firm.
What,
Yeah.
Jacobs, AJ, and Rodgers?
JK, AJ, and Rodgers.
JK, AJ, and Rodgers. I think, Joe, you saw the sign when you were here, but there's a billboard near here that says Tyler Peary and Associates, attorneys at law. And when you're driving from afar, it just really looks like a Tyler Perry law firm like up on the billboard. And I just want that to
Medea goes
exist.
to court.
It would be so great.
We'll solve your case. Hallelujah.
Medea goes to small claims court.
We got Dave in the chat. Shout out Dave from the Toronto area with Don't Call It a Comeback. What's up, Dave? Well, JL, it is your turn and you got free reign on this board. Where do you want to go?
Do it.
Do it.
500. He says 1, 2, 3.
Here's your category. Rank these players from greatest to least in the following category. PPR fantasy points. Darnell Mooney, Treylon Burks, and Michael Carter. This one sucks.
Try Elon Burks.
Oh, no!
How will we ever figure out who that
A
is?
typo on the first day.
On the first day.
Also, Scott in here said, what's up? Hope Bob is smoking you all. What's up, Scott? Welcome in, my friend. It's been a minute.
Imagine we erased our board that says 0 days since incident and just write 0 again. All right, greatest to least. Let's go with Mooney, Burks, Carter.
In the order they're in?
Yep.
Well, JL, you were so close. It was Carter, Mooney,
Boom.
Burks. Carter being first overall. I think the Brees Hall games at the beginning might have clouded just what Michael Carter did, which was play most of the season and do all right. Do fine for fantasy.
He came out so hot in week 1.
Man, he's such a value of best balls right now. I think everyone, I think Brees Hall, it was a clean tear. I think he'll probably be fine. All this will be great. But, what did we learn from Baltimore last year? Not everybody comes back right away from an ACL. I'm going to grab me some cheap Carter all day long this next month or so.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm looking in the chat. I don't think anyone got that one right. We had a lot of Carter, Burks, Mooney in there, but nobody getting Carter, Mooney, Burks on that one. Nice job to nobody for not getting that one right.
Nice job to no one.
Well, Bob, it is back to you. You got free reign of the board. Where do you want to go?
I'll go new team who dis for 200.
New team who dis. And we got Keith in here saying, I can't believe Keith wrote this stupid question. I know.
What a stupid question. Did he write that?
No, he did not.
Oh.
But
I can't believe
that's
it. That's
why I don't believe it. New team who dis for 200. James Robinson. What team is James Robinson on?
The Patriots of New England.
Jaguars.
That is the New England Patriots. Nice job, Bob, getting that one. Gonna add 200 more to your bank, building a little bit more on that lead. And you get to decide where Joey goes next. Where do you want to send Joey?
Let's do stat line assign.
Yes, Bob. Get those out of here.
200, please.
200. The chat was all over that last one. We had Patriots from Scampers. Scott getting that one right. Dame getting this one right as well. Dave with the New England and Sully coming in with Pats. And Ladarius coming in with Pats as well. They are not happy about it in the chat, though. Terrible signing. Sully's not the only one to express that sentiment. And Scampers saying
tell him, Sully.
The Jags are all running backs, apparently, according to JL. It's a new strategy.
That was like the meanest thing a Canadian's ever said.
Terrible signing. Well, Joey, here is your $200 question and stat line assign. 17 games played, 262 rushing attempts, 1,066 rushing yards at 4.1 yards per attempt. 17 rushing touchdowns, 12 receptions, 73 receiving yards, and 0 receiving touchdowns. Is this Austin Eckler, DeAndre Swift, or Jamal Williams?
Okay, I do know this. It's the new New Orleans Saints running back Jamal Williams. Did he not have a receiving touchdown though?
Is that your final answer?
Yes, Jamal Williams.
It is
Okay.
Jamal Williams, and he did not
Nice.
have a receiving
Okay,
touchdown.
for some reason
he
I
just
thought he had 18 touchdowns last year.
17 on the ground, unless I read those stats
That
wrong,
is
but
correct.
I'm pretty sure.
It's probably a micro receiving
That is
touchdown.
correct.
Just tracked differently.
Yeah, it was a rushing touchdown, which is a micro reception touchdown.
Yeah.
A little
It's
baby
just-
one.
Okay.
God
I got it
motivated
right. That's
those.
what's important part.
Teeny tiny one.
Also,
262 carries was a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
most of the
17 rushing touchdowns was the other day.
Yeah, that was the one for me. I was like, oh, okay.
the chat all over this one, except for Jay Wall, who said Swift because I have to say him. Nice job, Jay Wall.
All right.
Well, we're going to move on to our next question. Joey, you got that one right. Did I add that money yet already? I think I did.
No,
Yep. You were at
didn't.
900, weren't you?
Yeah.
So you're
I
going to pick
wanna
Dale's
send-
next category.
JL to hell. No, to where in the world is
Little
Carson
butts.
Wentz?
Yes. 200.
Dale, have you done every single one of these so far?
I think so.
Well,
It's the best day of my
Well,
life.
Dale, here's the 200. Where in the world is Carson Wentz?
Where is that?
Oh, I see it.
Chili's?
Is that your final answer?
2? Chili's?
Final
That
answer?
doesn't look like a Chili's 2. I gotta go Chili's. Let's go.
That is Chili's Grill and Bar.
Oh,
Multiple
go.
locations. Nice job, Dale. He just got a
Would
little
you
hungry.
have given it to me if I said
If
2?
you said Chili's too, I would have accepted it. If you got the
Phew.
Chili's part, it would have gone down. This is specifically one in San Antonio, but it could be any Chili's location.
Is that
Is
a
this a
picture from
picture
your
you
phone,
took?
Simon?
No, this is a picture from the Yelp review for my local Chili's.
Okay.
How the heck does Carson Wentz at multiple Chili's locations at the same time?
He's multiple.
He likes the chips and salsa.
Carson Wentz is everything.
Yeah, Carson Wentz has mastered the multiverse, and he lives at all Chili's. That's actually his portals in between the other dimensions. Is every Chili's in America? He can travel, but it has to be while eating a chicken crisper. It's the first bite into the chicken crisper that sends him to the next dimension.
It's only Connecticut locations.
The chat was
I see Nick Fury back there somewhere.
hiding in the back of the Chili's. Mostly Chili's in the chat. We had some Applebee's and some Buffalo Wild Wings, but no other Chili's. And Sully saying
Ridiculous guesses.
maybe they will give Wentz a job.
Nah.
Maybe.
Oh, that's
Nah.
my job to make fun of him. But thank you, Sully.
Well,
I don't think I ever mentioned this on the show, but when we were at the latest FSGA conference, I totally shot my shot, guys. I met with this guy who works at Buffalo Wild Wings, and I was like, listen, man, let us run the game shows that you play at the booths. FYF partnership with B-Dubs will make it happen. Everybody's in the booth playing along. They're all yelling at each other. We'll see.
We're in the
Waiting for the
commercial.
call.
Whenever you slam the button, we run out on the field and tackle the player to
We
make sure
run
it's overtime.
at every
We are
B-Dubs.
now responsible for the Buffalo Wild Wings overtime button. Is what we're angling for.
Yeah.
Well, Joey, you got that one right. No, JL got
did.
that one right.
No,
4
JL
for
did.
4. 4 for 4 on the where in the world is Carson Wentz questions, but you get to pick Bob's next category. We got time
I'm
for
incredible.
one more round here before we get into final
All
Jeopardy.
right. Let's send Bob a grab bag.
Okay, Bob, 100 or 200?
A 200.
200. What is the name of the Dungeons and
Oh,
Dragons
come on,
monster pictured
Oh,
below?
come
It looks
on.
as if you crossed a giant owl with a bear. Is it the owl bear, the growl, or the flappy bear?
Come on, Bob. You know this.
I have
one.
no idea. It's a
Come on, there's a picture right
an
there.
owl bear.
Final answer?
Tell me you don't
Owl bear.
recognize it.
This is an owl bear.
What?
You got it right, Bob. The owl and the bear combined together has the very creative name of owl bear.
I thought
Pretty
that game was like
self-explanatory.
really cool or something. Apparently not.
The owl bear is too lame for you, Bob. This is where you draw the line.
I'm totally drawing the line there.
I like the name of. I like the sound of Flappy Bear though. I think I'm gonna tell my wife to start
Flappy
calling me
Bear.
Flappy Bear. It sounds cute.
One Nation getting this one right. Same with Richard and
job, guys.
Mr. Scampers as well. Ladarius getting this, and Scott coming in with Demonym.
An interesting
Good
Demonym
guess.
the owl bear. Yes.
Yes. Gator in the chat earlier said, "Who from the chat and FYF is going to the expo?" We'll be there.
I'll be there.
FYF will be there. Bob, you go to the expo?
Expo.
You'll be
Of
there.
course.
Let's go.
Yeah, Bob.
Let's go. We'll see you there,
I
EJ.
don't not go to the expo.
Bob yelled at us from across the arena every time he saw us to let him back on the game show. The entire expo. I would just be minding my own business, then I hear from across the field, "Let me back on the game show!" And I look over, and it's Bob Harris just screaming at the top of his lungs.
Usually, if someone's disparaging us from afar, it's one of like 5 people. There's a select
We
list.
go down the list. It starts with Bob Harris, or is it Scott Fish?
Scott Fish. Yeah.
Well, you got that one right. Whoever went, Bob went. Which
I
means
went.
it was Joey's turn.
Stat line assigned.
Okay, Joey.
Yep.
It's just the 100. That's where you're going. 17 games played, 184 targets, 128 receptions, 1,809 receiving yards, 8 receiving touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. Is this Justin Jefferson, Nelson Aguilar, or Scotty Miller?
I like that Scotty Miller's an option, but it's Justin Jefferson.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Yes, Justin Jefferson is correct, Joey. Surprise, surprise. This is not Scotty Miller.
Dude, I gotta hit up his college roommate I met on the plane.
That's right.
To Vegas. Get him on the show.
Oh, and
we should have given him that question.
I know. That would be really rude.
Now, it would be really rude if I sent JL to a different category, wouldn't it?
It would.
I'm not going to do it.
Don't do it.
Where in the world is Carson Wentz? Go ahead.
Hey!
JL, this is for the clean sweep.
I'm so nervous.
The pressure getting to you.
I'm so nervous.
Yeah.
I said Jacksonville for P. Ryan.
Here it is.
I'm gonna mess this up.
Where in the world is Carson Wentz?
I mean, it looks like New York, but I ain't never seen a sky that blue in New York. Wicked, Mamma Mia, that's New York. Times Square.
Final answer?
Yeah.
John Luke, this is Times Square in New York City, New York. JL with the clean sweep of a category. This is when everybody on the TV show quietly claps while they pause and no one talks while they clap for a player who cleared a whole category. That's my favorite part of Jeopardy, the quiet celebrations. Well, nice job, JL.
I think I need to get that a Carson Wentz tattooed on my body now.
After doing that picture.
You already have that. You showed me earlier. Come on.
You're right. You're right. Each cheek. They're staring at each other.
You got to get him like he pokes his head out.
Keep each other
in the Chili's. You got to get him poking his head out of your butt crack. Just Carson Wentz with his head poking.
What's going on over here?
Hey guys.
I see Get in the Game said JL and Joey, you need to sweep. Did I sweep stat line assign and just not realize it because
I think Bob had one stat line assigned.
No, Bob had a stat line assigned.
Bob had one stat line assigned. Also, Andrea heading out said, "See you later." See you later.
Andrea,
thanks for coming in.
Thanks
for coming in and hanging out with us in that
Drive
one. I
safe.
see our friend Gary in the chat jumping in here. What's up, Gary?
Gary.
What up, Gary?
Getting that one correct too. Well, we're going to move into our final Jeopardy question now. The scores are Bob 1,800, Joey 1,200, and JL 1,300. Your final Jeopardy question before you write down your wagers. The category is Super Bowl halftime shows. Super Bowl halftime shows is your final Jeopardy category. So go ahead and
The Super Bowl halftime shows?
What'd you say?
The Super Bowl halftime shows?
One and only Super Bowl halftime shows is what we're talking about here.
The greatest Prince. Final answer.
Well, that is the question. And Joey, you are the winner of Fantasy Football Jeopardy.
Yes, I knew I could do it.
Can I wager Bob's money?
Yeah, you can wager Bob's money, but just this once, JL.
Okay.
And Bob, you can also wager your money.
Not if I do it first.
Yeah, you got to be faster. Let me know when you guys have your answers written down or your wagers.
This is the only aspect of the game I'm consistently confused by.
What is the
bidding
question?
part at the end.
You do not have the question yet.
What is the question, though?
The category.
I'll need to know the question.
What's the answer?
The question will be revealed ever so shortly. You guys have your wagers written down?
Yes.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah. I should have not written it in tiny text.
Joey with $11.99, leaving $1 left. Bob with, is that 850?
It is.
Bob with 850.
0S8 from Bob.
And JL with all of your money. 2,600 or bust for JL. Okay, well, here is your final question. I'm going to pull it up. You guys have about 30 seconds to answer while I do some math on who's going to win in each scenario. Here it is. Which of the following artists/bands has never performed at a Super Bowl halftime show? Is it the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Is it Phil Collins? Or is it the Foo Fighters? One of these bands has never performed at the Super Bowl halftime show or artists. Which one is it? Bum ba-dum, bum ba-dum bum. No, what's the Jeopardy song?
That has nothing to do with the Chili's question earlier, right?
I mean, some of these artists are known to love a Chili's. The inspiration for the soundtrack from Tarzan actually hit Phil Collins out of Chili's, if I remember correctly.
Is it weird that I mainly know Phil Collins from the Eminem song Stan?
I only know him from Genesis before he was the singer.
Was he? What was he in Genesis? Was he
He started out just as the drummer.
The drummer for Genesis? Helping Bob.
Nice.
I got to do some.
Peter Gabriel had to go do the Wall-E soundtrack. So
yes.
Let's see. Okay, we got
this is
some
a great soundtrack. Thank you, Peter Gabriel, for that wonderful soundtrack you made.
Let me know when you guys have your answers ready.
Yeah,
everybody got them down.
Come on.
Yep.
Okay, we got some answers in the chat here as well. We had a lot of Phil Collins in here. We had Mr. Scampers with the Foo Fighters, but it looks like the overwhelming answer is Phil Collins. Well, we've got Foo Fighters as the answer from everybody here. So how this is going to work out is if the answer is Foo Fighters, Bob will win. If the answer is not Foo Fighters, Bob will also win.
This is how the game is played.
So the correct answer.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
There is no chance. The answer is Foo Fighters, and Bob Harris is the winner of Fantasy Football Jeopardy today. Bob, congratulations.
Well,
you have won nothing, but thanks for coming.
I just avoided humiliation. That's a win every single time. That's always the goal when I join you fellows on the program, is to avoid total humiliation. I believe I'm like 77% success rate on that, and I'm hoping to continue it in the near future.
Front Yard Fantasy. Do your best not to get humiliated. That's our tagline. Bob, truly a pleasure streaming with you as always, my friend. Toronto Dave in the chat. Bob-a-nation. This was absolutely Bob-a-nation on the show today. Everybody watching, if you are not already following our friend Bob, after that Bob-a-nation performance, go and follow him on Twitter at Football Diehard. It's easy to remember, at Football Diehard, and check out his work over there. And check him out on SiriusXM as well. Bob, thank you so much yet again.
You the man, Bob.
Is the soundtrack available in the shop, or can I go to the merch stand or something?
It is. It's available in the shop in Mexico City.
All right.
It has to be purchased in person, though, at Estadio Azteca.
Don't go off on me now.
You'll get a cassette tape.
Real quick before we go, it did not come up, but I just have to show you guys. Bob, you mentioned Weird Al at the beginning of the show, and there was a Weird Al question on this board as well.
No way.
What is Weird Al's real first name? It is not Dustin or Craig. It is, in fact, Alfred.
Craig.
Imagine if his name was Craig. But guys, that is going to be it for us today. We will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time with our friend Thad Houston for some more fantasy football game show fun. Thanks for tuning in. Glad to be back at 3 p.m. with you. And we will see you tomorrow afternoon. Adios, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.